Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you have clicked on this video, you are probably in the process of applying to medicine or thinking about applying to medicine. So I have applied to medicine twice, which means I am well acquainted with the application process, and I thought today it would be useful to put together my top 10 tips for applying to medicine. I basically just wanted to summarise my best advice that I can give as someone who's been through this process more than once. So hopefully you find this video useful. If you are new here, my name is Lydia and I am starting medicine in September. You can follow me on my Instagram at Lydia Martin Medic, where I'm going to be documenting my journey, and also please subscribe to my YouTube channel as I'm going to be making lots of videos over the coming weeks about applying to medicine. Okay, so tip number 1 is to plan ahead. This is super important. Basically, while you're applying to medicine, there are going to be a lot of key dates that you need to kind of have in your mind so that you can plan and make sure that you're getting tasks done on time. So basically, I would suggest sort of either having a diary or a calendar where you write down all the dates, such as, your UCAT test or your GAMSAT test, when the UCAS deadline is, if you've got any work experience lined up, when that is. You need to have an overview of the key dates that are going to come up over the next few months, because if you aren't organised, you might run the risk of missing something really important. So tip number 1, plan ahead. Number 2, be smart when choosing your entrance exam date. This is something I did very wrong the first time I sat my UCAT exam. I picked my test date after a holiday, and this meant that I wasn't able to perform as well because I didn't get enough time to revise. Nobody is to blame but myself for that one, but just be wise when picking your test date, especially this year because of coronavirus. With UCAT they suggest just picking a date as early as possible and sticking to it, so they don't recommend that you change your date this year. I know when I said it last year, I was able to change my date if I wasn't feeling ready for it on the day, but this year they recommend that you don't. So basically, be smart when choosing your date and make sure it's not one that you're going to have to change unless it's absolutely urgent that you do. Tip number 3 is research. So this just means spend time online looking at all the different medical schools. I became obsessed with trawling through university websites and blogs and the student room and learning as much as I could about each medical school, whether that be the stats of how many people and what kind of applicants they accept, or the course structure. Just become an expert and spend your time researching every medical school, or at least the ones that you're interested in, so that you know for sure which ones are going to be well suited to you when you go to apply. Tip number 4 is explore all options, and this is basically to do with the fact that I ended up applying for some 5-year courses, so undergraduate courses, instead of just graduate entry courses, and this is something I didn't think about the first year that I applied. Sometimes undergraduate medicine isn't an option that is available to everyone, whether that be because of the length of the course or the funding, but it is slightly easier to get into, or at least it's less competitive because you're not just against other graduates when you're applying. Look at all the options that are available to you. Try not to have tunnel vision and just pick 4 medical schools that you like the sound of or like the look of. Try and really get a broad overview of every option available to you before you put down those 4 choices on your UCAS application. That leads me on to tip number 5, which is to be tactical with your choices. Now this is potentially my most important piece of advice. Be clever with your option. Don't choose a medical school just because you've always dreamed of going to that particular medical school. If at the end of the day you know that they are likely to only accept applicants with a first in their degree and you have a 2-1, then think about whether or not there is a university that would be a better option for you on your option form, because at the end of the day you only get 4 choices, so you need to make the most of those 4 choices. Really play to your strengths. What I'd recommend doing is writing down all of your stats, so your degree, your UCAT score, your work experience, your A-levels, and really look at what unis are looking for and make sure that you put down your 4 best options on your UCAS application form. You need to make sure that you're putting down the right options that are going to give you the most chance of getting an interview. Number 7 is to include all work experience on your personal statement. So basically, I didn't have that much experience in a healthcare setting. That is because I've been working as a teacher for the past 2 years, so I just didn't have the time to get that much experience in that kind of setting. So I ended up including my teaching and my waitressing work on my personal statement, and actually in the interview we spoke about both those things more than my 5 days of work experience in A&E and my 2 days at GP surgery. Don't be afraid to include things that aren't necessarily healthcare related, because you can still learn things and you can still prove that you have transferable skills from things like waitressing. Don't be afraid basically to include other things that you've done, because not everyone can get 60 hours working in a care home by the time they apply, especially because of coronavirus this year. Just really think outside the box when you're putting down your work experience on your personal statement. Number 8 is maybe a little bit cheesy, but believe you can. Medicine is very competitive, and you might meet people along the way who you look at and you think you're in awe of, and you think, wow, you've got all these grades and all this work experience, like how could I ever compete with you? But you need to remember that you have your own set of qualities and your own set of achievements and things to put in your personal statement that make you stand out from the crowd. It's just about not comparing yourself too much to other people. Just believe in what you are and what you have. Just be positive and be confident when you are applying. That leads me on to number